Let's start off by talking about Man United and their gaffer, Erik Ten Hag. He spoke to the media earlier ahead of their game against Chelsea tomorrow night after banning 4 journalists from today's press conference. He was asked if he was concerned by the reports from certain media outlets stating that there are issues at the club.
They should come to us first and not go around in our back printing articles. That's not the right thing. I think we have another relationship, and then they can, if they should give that to us beforehand, we have a normal and a professional discussion and debate about it.
So from that piece of audio, right, what I can get is that he says, we don't like people going behind our backs and printing articles. They've got every opportunity to come to us first. And that's basically what happens in football. What happens in most sports. You hear a story as a journalist, you go to the club or the person involved and you go, we're going to print that. And the club or the person will go, it's not true. Or they'll make a comment or they'll go, please don't do that. In this case, whoever printed the articles didn't ask for Man United's permission or didn't even ask Man United if they were right or wrong. And they printed them anyway. And then he's got the ump with that. And he's banned the 4 people involved. So it's 1 local journalist, 2 from Sky Sports, and 1 from the Mirror. And they've not been allowed to go to the press conference. What's your view on, not just Erik Ten Hag, but we're talking about Erik Ten Hag, but on people in that scenario, managers, right? Banning journalists from press conferences. Irrelevant of the reason. We'll get to the reason in a minute, but what's your first initial view on that?
A bit petty, I think. Again, just causes more headaches. Listen, they've been printing stuff about Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United all year. The Jadon Sancho thing. So is he effectively saying that everything that was printed about Jadon Sancho, him having to change on his own, the change room that he was in was like in a cupboard, is all this true?
It wasn't in a cupboard.
But no, but it was like a special made one-man room or something. So all that's true. But this now, what they're reporting about the rift in dressing room is not true, which is why he's obviously fired back and gone, no, you're banned from the press conference. I do think it's a little bit petty. I think, listen, I don't agree with everything that journalists do, but clearly that information that they've printed has come from somewhere. And the reason why I say that, because if it was factually wrong, or they thought to themselves, like they've just gone, do you know what, I'm going to make something up and print it, there'd be repercussions from Manchester United. Like they'd go after them seriously. But the fact that they've just banned them from this press conference, but they've still, in their minds, gone, do you know what, we're still going to print it, tells me that part of these stories are true.
What, you must have been in a dressing room when the leaks have come out of it. Where was that?
There was one, I remember being at Spurs. There was, I think it was my second season, there was stories coming out left, right and centre. No one ever knew who it was.
And you never found out?
Never found out it was.
Did you have an inkling as to who it may be?
No, not really, no, because it was a good dressing room, a really good dressing room, so no one really knew where it was coming from.
Why do you think leaks come out of dressing rooms?
Could be a number of reasons, can't it? It might be a player wanting to leave. It might be some of the players not having the manager, which on this occasion looks like it could be the case.
Well, one of the stories I've read, and I don't know if this is the story he's talking about, but one of them is he's lost 50% of the dressing room.
Well, their performances on the pitch tell me that they're not having the manager. Because
I still don't understand how that works.
Well, just think, right, I'll give you an example. Every single player out there has had a bad game of some sorts, right? That's fact. No one, unless you're Messi, Ronaldo, and even these guys at some point back in the day have had a bad game a long, long time ago, right?
Yeah.
That's not the case. But effort, endeavour, running around, work rate, you don't have to be a good player to do that. That's just the basics. Right. And these guys are not even doing that. So that tells you full well that, you know what, now I've had enough of this guy. I've had enough of his voice. I don't like it tactics. I've had enough of this.
Okay, so do you think...
Down tools is what you call it.
I've heard that expression. Do you think that that managers do or don't have the right to ban journalists?
No, you can't ban a journalist for... If the journalist felt, from their perspective, if they had made something totally up, they'd be scared of the repercussions from the club if it was totally wrong.
But do you think that the journalists owe it to the club to ask them whether or not that story is right or wrong?
No, because if they ask the club, is it right or wrong, the club, regardless if it's true or not, are going to go, it's false. Like if there was a punch-up...
If it's a negative story, that the club will deny
If there was a punch-up between 2 players in the Manchester United dressing room and the journalist went to the club, listen, we've heard this is the case, did this happen? The club going to go, no.
Okay. After Man United banned journalists from 4 media outlets from Tuesday's news conference, that's today's, we thought we'd revisit the time Sir Alex Ferguson did the same thing. Did we? Is that what we thought? Did we? I didn't think that. Here's his explanation at the time.
Well, first of all, I just want to address you people in front of me, the dailies. I had some of these banned for a few weeks, and to be honest, I get fed up with it. Your job is to tell the truth, right? That's your job. You can quote me when I'm accurate about things that I've said. I'm not going to have you twisting everything I say. okay? So the next time it's finished, you don't ever get back in, okay? To make that clear to you, you don't get back in, finished. I'm fed up having to read papers and talk things I say, and I know I've said, and you completely twist it around, lie. Your job is to tell the truth. That's your job as a journalist. And if you can't do that, you're in the wrong job, okay? So make that clear.
Tell you what, it sounds a lot more thing coming from him.
I love Fergie.
Yeah, but then look at him. He's commanded that respect. Ten Hag just got in the job.
Slagging him off for.
No, but when Fergie's giving that speech there, you're thinking, ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to cross him.
Exactly. When Ten Hag does it, they're probably just like, oh.
Let's speak to you, the football fan. 03717222334. That's the number. Wayne has dialed. Hello, Wayne. Good afternoon.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Benty. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You right?
What time do you wake up in the morning, Wayne?
4:30 me every day.
Why? What'd you do?
I've got my own business. I'm a digital consultant and I've got 2 babies, so I have to get up and get out. I've got to do gym, coffees in the morning, and then normal life starts at 8 a.m. and I go into my job.
Wow. And what time do you go to bed at night?
It was 11 o'clock last night. I was doing some work after hours as well.
What a superstar you are. If you can't get to sleep, are you like me? You just toss and turn all night until you go to sleep?
I just wake up naturally without an alarm clock now. I've had this routine for about 10 years, so yeah.
Do you know what, Wayne? I hate people like
Do you know what? My alarm, I don't set my alarm now. Every morning I wake up at 6:47.
And what time is your alarm set for?
7:15.
Okay. Bit precise, isn't it?
Every morning I can tell you exactly what time it is when I wake up. Open my eyes.
Well, you wet the bed?
Yeah.
Wayne, what would you like to say?
I just think Ten Hag's absolutely right to ban the press. I think Man United's a brand, right? It's a business. And if you've managed people, if you've managed in any walk of life, you see these people, these young kids that play for United, and I still class Rashford as a young kid, even though he's 26. If you're reading this and you're hearing this and you're seeing this every day, it can't help but have a negative impact on a team. So he's absolutely right to ban these people who are producing what are clearly lies, or at least speculation, from his brand, his business, to protect his people and protect the fans of the club and move things on to a position of truth.
Well, let me ask you a question then, because one of the things that he sounds false is the rift in the dressing room. When you look at the performance of the players on the pitch, does that look like a team that's playing for their manager?
No, but I do see a 50% divide. So there's probably some guesswork going on here. I see some of the new signings putting a graft in. I see some of the older signings not putting a graft in. You look at the body language of Marcus Rashford. He's a great player. His attitude stinks. You can see that from any level of employment. That kid's attitude stinks. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. And I think half the team do and half the team don't.
Okay, Wayne, great call. Thank you. Let's go to Lewis, also a United fan. Hi, Lewis.
How are we doing, guys? You all right?
I'm very well. How are you?
Andy, just quickly before we talk United, when we spoke last week, remember about the treble 20 turning green by Paddy Power for the World Championships? So on the day we were saying, weren't we, that surely this has got to be a hoax or a publicity stunt, a wind-up. And sure enough, it did turn out to be that. I'm sure you saw that a few days after they confirmed it won't be changing green. So we were right then in the end.
We were right.
Yeah, we were right. And quickly, wasn't it great to see Ronnie win the UK on Sunday?
Amazing to see. We're going to talk Ronnie in a bit with Barry Hearn.
Yeah, get him on. Try and get him on, Andy. I know you make your calls and try and it'd be great to hear Ronnie on your show.
I've got more chance of bumping into him at a bus stop smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Right, just let's talk about United then. I mean, look, it's not good, is it? It's dominated the conference today, didn't it? Questions purely about this. Hardly anything mentioned about the game tomorrow night. So it's a big distraction. I personally don't think banning any four journalists, I don't think it's going to change anything. Just because they're not sat in the room. Is that going to change anything? I don't know. But I mean, look, there's been rumours of leaks for a while. About players not being happy with the training or the style of play, or the players who have left or sidelined, etc. So, yeah, it's not good. I mean, he's saying, players back me. We are together. There are no issues, but I don't know whether I believe it. I don't know. I think there are some problems in there. I don't think it looks good for Erik. We've seen Jose get sacked in the past, haven't we? Player power, unrest, leaks and rumours. Ollie was similar. When this starts happening, you're starting to lose the dressing room.
You do, Lewis. I hear what you're saying. Thanks for your call. Let me ask you, Benny. There's a massive game Man United got tomorrow against Chelsea. Does this add more pressure to Erik Ten Hag on the back of this?
Yeah, of course, because now everyone's talking about... I mean, it might be a masterstroke from Ten Hag because he's thinking, right, take all the pressure off the players on the pitch.
A bit like when Big Sam said he was better than Pep.
Yeah, and put it all onto me. But it's a tough game, really, really tough game, because Chelsea are not a bad side. Just beat Brighton. So it's going to be a tough game for you lot.
He's going to be very tough.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.